Good evening. I call to order the October 28th, 2025 meeting of the Metuchen Board of Education. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Alievich, notice of the meeting, please.
Sure thing. I hereby make this statement to indicate compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, known as Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of New Jersey, 1975, which became effective 90 days after enactment, January 19, 1976. Notice of this meeting was given by providing the location, time, and date of this meeting, posting of the same on the front door of the Board of Education offices, by delivering copies to the Borough Hall and the Metuchen Public Library, the Home News and Tribune, and by filing a copy with the Borough Clerk as prescribed by this law.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bott.
Here.
Ms. Cheatham.
She is advised she will not be here today.
Thank you. Mr. Derflinger.
Yes, here.
Mr. Glassberg.
Here.
Dr. Johnson-Marcus.
I am here.
Ms. Colleen. Here. Mr. Lifton.
He is also advised that he would not be here today.
Thank you. Ms. Michaels-Lamort. Here. Dr. Spigner.
Here.
Mr. Sass.
Here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Dr. Caputo, we have some exciting stuff coming up.
We do. Thank you, Dr. Johnson-Marcus. First up is our high school fall play preview, and the MHS Footlighters will present Arthur Miller's The Crucible on Friday, November 14th, and Saturday, November 15th. The Crucible is about a small town that spirals out of control when people start accusing each other of witchcraft. As fear takes over, lies and revenge ruin lives, especially that of John Proctor, who tries to do the right thing, even if it costs him everything. Tonight, seniors Ryan Stein, who plays John Proctor, and Aidan Bernstein-Lundy, who plays Reverend Paris, will talk a little about the play and the Footlighters' upcoming performances.
Good evening. We're Aidan and Ryan, and we're part of the cast of this year's fall play, The Crucible, presented by the MHS Footlighters. I'm playing Reverend Paris.
And I'm playing John Proctor. The Crucible is a classic American play by Arthur Miller about the Salem witch trials in the 1600s. It follows a community that falls apart when fear and accusations take over. But it's also a story about truth, integrity, and standing up for what's right.
Even though it was written over 70 years ago, it still feels incredibly relevant. As an allegory for the Red Scare and its lasting impact on trust in the government, it reminds us of the power of hysteria, the ease with which misinformation and fear can spread, and the importance of thinking for ourselves and supporting one another. That's what makes the story so powerful right now.
For us, it's also really meaningful because this is our senior play. It's one of the last times we'll get to perform with the people we've grown to love over the years, and everyone, from freshmen to seniors and actors to crew, has poured their heart into making it into something special. On top of that, we both were lucky enough to read The Crucible in our sophomore year English classes, and getting to see it brought to life by our fellow Footlighters has been a real treat.
We've been building this production since the school year started, and we're beyond excited to share it with you all.
The Crucible will be performed on Friday, November 14th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, November 15th at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. in the MHS Auditorium.
Tickets are $15, and they'll be available for advance purchase at mhsfootlighters.com starting this Friday at noon. You can also buy them at the door for any of the performances.
We'd love to see you all there. Thank you so much for your time, and we hope you'll join us for The Crucible.
Great.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Aidan.
Do we know if this was inspired by going to see John Proctor's The Villain on Broadway, the choice? May have been.
Wonderful. More good stuff coming, Dr. Caputo.
We do. I'd like to next invite Ms. Lemerick up, and she'll invite some special guests that we have with her today. As getting near the podium here, just want to remind the board that a team of 10 of us spent a great day last Tuesday down in Atlantic City, and not only did we receive this award, which Ms. Lemrick and her team will talk about. But each school received awards, and then we received another district award because all 4 schools received awards. So much of this work is due to the efforts of our STEM supervisor, Ms. Kate Lemrick. I'm going to turn the program over to her.
Is this on? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
There we go. All right. It takes a village. I'll start with that. So good evening, Metuchen Board of Ed. I'm super proud to share that our district has been named the 2025 recipient of the Green Team Collaboration Award from Sustainable Jersey, an honor that's given to just one New Jersey district each year. This recognition highlights our strong partnerships, as seen here from some of our representatives, and shared commitment to sustainability across our schools and the community. Our collaboration with the Metuchen Environmental Commission has been central to this work. On August 17th, 2025, you probably saw us downtown at the Metuchen Green Fair. Many of us from this group were here. And that grew out of our district, actually, I think all of us were here at the Green Fair. That grew out of our work from our district sustainability committee discussions that we had with Mr. Mark Herzberg and Mr. Peter Fairclough, who came to our meetings together from the commission. Our partnership with the Metuchen Shade Tree Commission has also been exceptional. Over the past 2 years, our high school tree ambassadors, Samuel is one of them, have learned from Dr. Ken Salmon, right here, and Ms. Yoko Kato, sharing that knowledge through lessons, tree planting activities, and library programs that highlight carbon sequestration and native species. As we prepare for our upcoming Trees for Schools grant, our Shade Tree Commission staff and students continue to play key roles in planning and implementation. We're also expanding sustainability learning through professional development opportunities, including a field trip for our science teachers with members from both commissions. Our newest initiative, a food recovery program with Share My Meals and the First Presbyterian Food Pantry, led by Sarah Teddy right here, has also recovered 485 meals, 611 pounds of food, and it's prevented 2,443 pounds of CO2 emissions, thanks to more than 25 of our community volunteers. These efforts reflect the collaboration and creativity that make Metuchen so special, and I really mean that. Metuchen is a very special place. We're deeply grateful to our community partners, our staff, our students for their shared vision, and I welcome you to view this short video, and I'm super excited to share that this award is one for the district and one for our community partners that will travel around to our schools and travel around to our different locations throughout the borough.
Wonderful.
So as Mr. Ulick makes his way to the monitor, what are we going to see, Ms. Lemrick?
What's that?
As
Sorry.
Mr. Ulick makes his way to the video, do you want to set that up a little bit?
Yeah, so this is going to highlight.
Metuchen is how willing everybody is to come to. One of the things I think is so amazing about Metuchen is how willing everybody is to come together to partner. Ms. Councilman and I have kind of co-led our district sustainability committee, which kind of started us down this path of a number of different community efforts that we've had.
Almost everything we've done in the club has been about like some sort of environmental issue that really touches our school.
Tree Ambassador program started 2 years ago when Dr. Ken Salmon from the Shade Tree Commission approached us and had this concept idea.
One of the best ways to reach the community is to reach into our kids. So we created a program whereby the kids would learn about trees, learn how to plant them, learn how to take care of them, learn how to identify them, and take part of the process to transform things.
Right now we're working on plans to plant trees on our campus. We want to try to encourage sustainable practices as well. Last year, Dr. Bruno's Student Advisory Board was meeting with our cafeteria. We were talking about sustainability efforts. So one of the ideas came up about a shared table concept. We were able to have this great collaboration across all these organizations to recover all these uneaten meals from our schools. So every day, all of these meals come back that are uneaten from all the schools. They come back to the high school here, placed into containers. We have volunteers within our community who are volunteering weekly to come pick up these meals and bring them over to the First Presbyterian Church. We've been really fortunate to be able to start this at the beginning of the school year, and already in a few short weeks have recovered, I would say, hundreds of meals already, which is really amazing. The it is truly an honor to be recipients of this Green Team Collaboration Award, and I think it only fuels us further to inspire the next generation.
I think if more students had the same experiences as me, we would have way more future environmental scientists to help combat climate change in the future, among other environmental problems.
Okay.
All right. So please join me in welcoming Sarah Teddy to share.
Hold on.
I can also speak really loud.
But we can also gush about how awesome that was.
Okay.
Because television won't pick you up, Katie.
Okay.
Until
Oh, got it. Okay. All right. So please join me in welcoming Sarah Teddy from the Food Pantry, who's going to share a few words with us today.
Wonderful.
Thank you all very much for inviting me here today to speak a little bit about where the meals are going. I think that that is a very important thing to recognize during this difficult time that we're facing. I wanted to let you know that the meals that are coming out of the Metuchen School District are going to a supportive housing building in Edison called Amanda's Crossing. It's run by Mission First Housing, and it supports individuals who are coming out of homelessness and are being housed for the first time since being homeless. These folks usually do not have transportation to get to a supermarket. Many of them do not, so the supportive housing system does provide them transportation to go there, but that's only once a week. Many of them do not have an ability to cook either. So these meals are a really important part of keeping them fed and making sure that people are given what they need to take a step in the right direction after such a tremendous issue that they've had in their lives. I want to thank all the volunteers who have driven meals to us. Everybody has been really nice about it. Obviously, I would like to thank the Sustainable Committee here because it has really just brought us up to the next level at the Metuchen, at the FPC Food Pantry. So we really appreciate it and keep doing the good work. Thank you.
Yay, Sarah.
Thank you.
And Dr. Ken Salmon from the Metuchen Shade Tree Commission.
Trying to put me on another commission here now. I appeared here about 2.5 years ago when I spoke with Dr. Caputo, Dr. Herzog, and the board to get permission to begin the Tree Ambassadors program in the community and to work with students. And I thought, as currently the chair and then as a member of the Shade Tree Commission, on the old saying that, when's the best time to plant a tree? Does anybody know? 20 years ago. So when's the best time to plant the seed in the hearts and the minds and the arms and the legs of people who want to participate in planting trees? Well, 20 years ago. So we start them young because most people who are on committees in our borough and who volunteer in so many ways are in their 40s or older. So we have to start them young. And this has been a great opportunity for them to participate in making our community greener, healthier, and more welcoming. One of the things my 3 kids used to ask me is, Daddy, how do I know when we're entering Metuchen? And I said, well, it's when the trees begin on Route 27, when you come from either direction, because trees are one of the things that make our community great. One of the things I wanted to share also is, in addition to the Green Team Collaboration Award, 2 weeks ago in Atlantic City, the Tree Ambassador Program also received the Top Achievement Award from the New Jersey Urban and Community Forestry Program. So the State Forestry Program honored the work of the Tree Ambassadors, from Sam and his peers, and I think you should all give them a big hand.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Sam, if you want to come forward to just share a few words about your experience.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Dr. Salmon and the rest of the Shade Tree Commission for heavily involving the students in the sustainability efforts, because I think it's so important to ensure that us, the students, and the rest of my generation, the future generation, can enjoy the same benefits that we have today in the future.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
And there are many more that are not here this evening, but have just been amazing community partners, both within our district and throughout the borough. So we are very honored and grateful for this award, and thank you all for allowing us to present it to you tonight.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you all for your hard work.
As I said, last Tuesday was a fantastic experience. We received this amazing award. As I said earlier, I kind of alluded to, each school received their bronze or silver certification, and as a district, because all of our schools are certified, we also received a district award. So it was quite a haul for us. And you know, what I've learned as I've gotten older is kind of get out of the way of people who are doing their passion projects and doing great work, and you've allowed me to bring great people in, and they've tapped into resources in the borough and within the school system, and this is what results in that, so thank you.
Absolutely. It's wonderful to see this magic unfold, where we have such a wonderful set of community partners that are making a real difference in what it is that they're doing in terms of the physical infrastructure within our borough, the beautiful trees that will be planted and we get to enjoy for a few years, whether it is the meals that we are serving to our neighbors who desperately need them at this very challenging time. So it is amazing to see that, and even more important to see our students being engaged in this in a way that is meaningful, that brings their lessons off of the page into practical reality. I love seeing all of this. So thank you all for your vision and the execution to lead to these wonderful awards.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson Marcus. It's wonderful. Did anyone else?
Sarah, can you play us a song? She also is an accomplished musician.
You're like, I have my pipe here.
But you know, at a time where we can't control certain things that are happening at the national level, it's great to know that our community steps up to support each other, not just in Metuchen, but in the surrounding areas. So we appreciate the work that you're doing, Sarah, and also with anything related to the environmental initiative, everyone. So thank you so much.
Can we highlight there's new opportunities to volunteer and participate as well? Dr. Caputo, can you folks share with the community?
Yeah, sure.
How it's expanding so quickly?
Ms. Lemrick, did you want to talk a little bit how we grew from literally the first week of September to where we are now, to what's going to happen in November and December even?
Yeah, for anybody who is interested in getting involved in the work, now more than ever, we are looking to start doing some Friday pickups in addition to our Wednesday, so that we can recover more meals and send them over to the food pantry. If there are donatable items, and I know Sarah can speak to this better than I can, but I know there is such a great need. There is a box outside of the food pantry, correct, Sarah? That is, you're always welcome to drop things off. If you want to volunteer at the food pantry, I'm sure Sarah would love the support. And even from food to pantry, and then at the pantry is where those are portioned out right into meals that are then sent out to the community. So I'm sure there's a need for that as well. So in any part of that process, we love the support of the community. It's been so nice to have so many people step up, and we've had each week people training the trainers, and it's been a great opportunity to really bring the community together in these efforts. So we're always open and willing to have new participants in this work.
And we're recovering meals, Ms. Lemrick, and we're keeping waste out of the, as you said earlier one time, but we're keeping waste out of the dumps. Yep. And so it's a win-win situation.
Yes, a huge contributor to climate change. So we're really happy about that too.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Yes. And I will say, I noticed some of our principals back there, and I know that y'all have done some food bank drives as well at the schools, so make sure when y'all see those things coming home, you send your young people out to school with goodies for our neighbors.
Yeah, and speaking about the principals, they'll be stepping up their work on the share tables, where we take food that often gets thrown out, that's fruit or bagged carrots, things like that, put them on share tables so students that have clubs or students that have sports or students that have a little brother at home that likes carrots can pick them up, so it's less stuff going in the dump. So each school will have those, and they should the principals will be sharing out that information.
Oh, wonderful. Love that. Thank you. That's great that you shared that as well. Thank you so much. I think at this time we are moving to the open to the public, and I know that some of you, while you are members of the public, may perhaps want to go home. So I'll give you the opportunity to leave at this time unless you wanted to say more. But we are open at this time to the public for public comment. Give Brandon a chance, Mr. Ulig a chance to go back and forth to the presentations, etc. as well. I feel like this is the time where we play jazz. Some quiet music.
Oh, no, thanks.
So as you cue me up for the next part of our, so our first presentation, we have two presentations, and the first one I'll turn over to Dr. Herzog and our administrators to present out our statewide assessment data as we do each school year. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Herzog and our team of principals and supervisors here today.
Wonderful.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Good, thanks. Good, thank you, Brandon. I'm excited to present our statewide assessment results for NJSLA testing last spring. Not quite as inspiring as the presentations that we just heard, but also a source of pride for our team and for our students are the results. They were very positive, so we're excited. And I'm joined this evening by our principals, Dr. Costanza, Mrs. Acevedo, and Mr. Porowski, and some members of our supervisor team, Lindsay Omark, Louis Manziano, and Kate Lemerick. So they'll be speaking as well. I'll get us started with our district level data, and then they'll dive deeper into the schools and some next steps. Okay, so this is just an overview of who we tested: ELA, grades 3 through 9, math 3 through 8, and any student who took Algebra 1, Geometry, or Algebra 2 last year. Science only tests 3 grades, 5, 8, and 11. We also have a small group of students who take an alternate assessments. I'll speak about that at the end. What are some benefits of the NJSLA participation? It is one measure, one assessment point, one data point, but it does give us some trends, and it gives us a point of reference to compare to state, district, grades, schools, departments. It gives us areas to celebrate. It drives differentiation, intervention, and enrichment, and it identifies any areas of needs or gaps that we want to focus on and fill in for curriculum revision, and it informs needs for professional development as well. We have a very high rate of participation, 98 to 99%, so most of our students take it. First thing we'll do is highlight in ELA our comparison to the state. On the chart, you'll see Metuchen in blue and state in gray. So across all grades, we're achieving well above the state averages. This is our ELA trends over 5 years of testing, the first column being pre-COVID and the last 4 years to follow. So you will see our ELA district-wide, all students, trending up and reached pre-COVID levels. This is the same data on the end, but broken up into each grade, so you'll see the similar pattern of trending upward and reaching pre-COVID levels in ELA across the grades. This is our cohort data. So what this shows us is students who took the test here in 23-24, and then the same students who took the test in 24-25, how their achievement grew. And you see the first column, they did by several percentage points. And then students who are different students who were not here in 23-24, but then tested here in 24-25, also increased their achievement. So that is wonderful reflection on their learning here in our district. This is our data in ELA by race, and you can see trending upward and reaching pre-COVID levels across our different most of our different groups, the majority. This is our proficiency data in ELA by groups: multilingual learners, free and reduced lunch, students who receive Section 504 plans, students who receive special education services, and our general population, mostly trending upward, the majority, and again, getting real close to the pre-COVID levels. Now I'm going to pivot to math district-wide, and again, Metuchen in blue, state in gray, and you see Metuchen far exceeding state averages in all math tests and grades. This is our total math achievement, district-wide, trending upward and far exceeding pre-COVID levels, which is fantastic. And that is the same across all grades, most of which are far exceeding our pre-COVID levels and steady growth. And some very high bars there in certain areas of secondary math. This is our cohort data. Again, students who were with us 2 years increased. Students who joined us after not being with us also increased. Our proficiency by race for math, most of our subgroups showed an increase, most of them reaching their pre-COVID levels or some even exceeding. And by program, the majority of our students in these different subgroups of multilingual learners, free and reduced lunch, Section 504, special education, and general ed, most steadily increasing most of our groups and most exceeding pre-COVID levels. Now I will switch to science district-wide. Blue is Metuchen, gray is state, in 5th grade, 8th grade, and 11th, exceeding state proficiency levels. All grades, mostly increasing, a little trending upward with more steady in the last couple years. And this is science across the grades, 5th grade, 8th grade, 11th grade, and all grades, more consistent in 11th grade, little more fluctuation in 8th grade, and steady increases in 5th grade. And our, by race, again, a little more fluctuation in some of our subgroups. These are less students are in each subgroup in a subject that's only tested in 3 different grades. So we'll dive in a little deeper here to look at some of this fluctuation. And same thing here, a little more science variety in our scores that we'll do some data dives and look at further to explore these scores more. Okay, I will pass this along to our elementary grades 3 through 5 team. We'll welcome Dr. Costanza, Mrs. Acevedo, and Miss Lindsay Omark to talk about our 3 to 5 achievement scores.
Dr. Herzog, thank you very much. Board, thank you for having us this evening, Dr. Caputo. So our job here is to highlight just some of the data takeaways on the slides. It's a pleasure to be joined with Ms. Acevedo and Ms. Omark, to highlight not just what's on the slides, but also what's not on the slides. The district's great commitment to the collaborative leadership model is so important, where these data get embedded in our discussions as part of evidence of that. Ms. Acevedo has opened up her 5th grade teachers to already be participating in our SLT discussions to talk about these data, as well as many others in preparation for the transition. And speaking of the transition, the work that Ms. Omark has done across 3 buildings, including Campbell, is just so important. We're so fortunate to have her and the collaboration with Ms. Acevedo as well. And really, again, just to highlight some of the things here, in 3rd grade, you'll see a theme of maintaining our progress year over year. And then as we progress through the grades, which I know Ms. Acevedo will talk about as well, you see exceeding in 4th grade, highest in 5 years. And as we're noticing difficulty of items on tests increase, our students are standing up to that and meeting the challenges as well. 5 of 7 most difficult skills, performing 12 and 18 percentage points better than state average. So certainly doing not just as well as the state, but exceeding that. And I know Ms. Acevedo will continue that discussion as well.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here today to present and highlight the great things our teachers and students are doing. So as you can see, 87% of our students in the 5th grade are meeting and exceeding, and that's the highest in 5 years. And of the 4 most difficult skills assessed, we're performing over 20 percentage points better than the state. We're demonstrating strengths in many areas, and especially in analyzing multiple perspectives and comparing literary and informational texts.
Good evening. I want to talk about writing. So in writing, our students in grades 3 to 5 consistently outperform the state average across all domains. So both in written expression and writing knowledge, and also literary analysis, research, simulation, and narrative writing. What's especially encouraging is the upward trend as students move from 3rd to 5th grade. Their performance increases and the gap above the state widens. This demonstrates the mastery students are building on these skills over time.
Thank you. In addition to a commitment to the collaborative leadership model, this district also has a cornerstone of a commitment to the whole child. Something that is a part of the educational conversation throughout the country, of course throughout the state, is a conversation around scientifically based reading strategies. And as people who are interested in science and who implement scientifically based strategies across all content areas, it's very important to us to pay attention to science of reading. However, given our commitment to the whole child, it's not just reading that we're doing with children. There's a thing called math as well that's kind of important. And so paying attention to it, it's very easy to have things like reading, given the professional development and the conversation, again, not just in New Jersey, but throughout the country, to have reading kind of suck the air out of the room. We pay attention to making sure that there's evidence that that does not happen, that yes, we're implementing science-based reading strategies, but there's growth in other areas as well. So the one item in particular, best performing skills are across different domains. That's really significant to show in math across the breadth of math. We're seeing increases in grade 3 and grade 4, even as the complexity increases. Super significant, again, given just academic growth, period, but then given the conversation and wanting to be sure that, yes, we're supporting reading and implementing guiding evidence-based strategies, but that doesn't just happen in reading. That happens across the board to support our whole child commitment as well.
And in grade 5, we continue to improve and grow with 82% of our students meeting and exceeding. It's, again, the highest in 5 years with 12 percentage points increase from last year, and with 5% to 30% above state in all the 38 skills assessed. So our 5th graders worked really hard, as do all our students, but they show tremendous growth. We're very proud of them. In our 5th grade, science, the same thing. There was a highest performance again in the last 4 years. Something was in the water with the 5th grades. It's been amazing. From 37% meeting or exceeding to 59%, and that's an increase in 7 percentage points. And we exceeded the state in all domains, practices, and overall performance. And now Ms. Hallmark for the next.
Thank you. I'm going to share the next steps we're taking to strengthen instruction and support student growth in grades 3 through 5 for ELA, math, and science. First, we've maintained our tradition of conducting data dives at the beginning of the year, after the beginning of the year benchmarks, and again, we'll do it after the middle of the year benchmarks. This process has allowed teachers to effectively analyze our assessment data, identify gaps, and implement targeted interventions. Our math coach and ELA interventionists join each meeting to support our teachers. Our math coach also provides ongoing targeted supports to teachers across many grade levels, focusing on strengthening instructional strategies. And we take a very vertical approach. So when an area of need is identified in one grade level, we also reinforce the prerequisite skills in earlier grades. So for example, our math coach is meeting monthly with our 2nd grade team to provide resources that, with continued supports in grades 3 through 5, will boost overall achievement. With this being the 2nd full year of our ELA curriculum, teachers are better positioned to implement lessons with the additions and revisions that we made last year. And with the continuous cycles of curriculum improvement, we are continuing to enhance our K-5 ELA curriculum. Specifically, this year we're prioritizing enhancing student writing. And so this includes embedding short constructed writing tasks throughout each unit. Throughout the year, teachers will participate in workshops focused on elevating writing instruction, ensuring that students are exposed to different writing tasks throughout the year. For peer observations, teacher feedback at Campbell, we're really excited to launch volunteer peer observations, allowing teachers to learn from each other's instructional practices, share effective strategies, and collaboratively strengthen classroom instruction. We will continue vertical and grade level articulation meetings as these discussions help ensure continuity in instruction from one grade to the next, addressing gaps before they become challenges for students. We plan to analyze our science units, particularly in physical science, to identify areas for enrichment and better support student understanding. And finally, we'll continue to expand our multilingual professional development, and this ensures our teachers have the skills to support students in all subgroups, promoting equitable access to instruction. Thank you.
Now for our 6 through 8 ELA analysis. We continue to outperform the state in each grade level, and students in grades 6, 7, sorry, I hang out with middle schoolers all day, are meeting and exceeding. They both increased in their percentage points. We're scoring up to 33% points higher on individual domains. There was major growth in vocabulary domain in all grades in the cohort and non-cohort data. This is something we're really proud about. Mix Manziano has worked with his department as well as our consultant in focusing on increasing our vocabulary domain. So it's great to see that there was an increase in 8 percentage points. And each domain is higher than previous years across grades 6 through 8. When it came to math, we outperformed the state. Also, percentage of students of meeting and exceeding expectations in each course. There was student growth in grade 6, 9.7% percentage points, increase in exceeding expectations, and in grade 7, 8.1 percentage points increase in meeting and exceeding. Our geometry, 23 percentage point increase in exceeding expectations, and in grade 7, supporting the content, 18% point increase as well. It's the most growth domain. We have seen in growth over time between the years of 2022 and 2025. And in grade 8, we continue to outperform the state in each domain in practice, category, and overall performance. Our strongest domain category is physical science, and our strongest practice category is critiquing practices. And the most overall growth category was physical science with 11 percentage point, and life science with 9 percentage point. And in practice, sense making was our strongest area, followed by critiquing. And now, Mr. Paraski.
All right, thank you so much. As evidenced from the NJSLA graphs, our students' performance was close to 37% higher than the state. The students' strengths were specifically seen in reading information and written expression and writing conventions. Looking at the subscore achievement data in 9th grade, we have seen strong growth in vocabulary. These results highlighted a huge bump in their performance in the application of strategies around unknown words. And if you're following that cohort in particular from 8th grade to 9th grade, there's even more evidence of vocabulary becoming a strength in their ELA skills. This was a huge undertaking by Mix Manziano, Mix Leghorn, and the English department, and I'm truly impressed and thankful for the work they've done and continue to do with our students. In math, our 9th grade analysis shows that we're continuing to outperform the state in the number of students meeting or exceeding expectations in each course. Specifically in Algebra 1, we want to identify that while the percentage as seen on the 5-year graphs may show a little bit of a drop, it's important to note that there was actually an increase in the number of students who met or exceeded expectations from spring 24 to spring 25. Looking at the 5-year graph without last year's jump, you'll see consistent growth over the past 5 years in Algebra 1 scoring. Additionally, in Algebra 1, the strengths included the ability to interpret expressions and the student's ability to analyze graphs. Areas of further development and focus continue to be as follows for Algebra 1. The additional work on modeling and reasoning in the classroom, focusing on graphing functions, both linear and exponential, a focus on graphing inequalities, and providing students with more real-world applications and multi-step problem-solving word problems. In geometry, we see that we were over 30% higher than the state in the students meeting or exceeding expectations in all 4 reported categories. There's a difference between last year's performance and this year by 1 student. Geometry strengths included knowledge of congruence of triangles, relationship of sine and cosine and complementary angles, knowledge of the Pythagorean theorem, and application of those problem-solving skills specifically regarding the relationships among inscribed angles, radii, and chords. Geometry areas of focus are very niche with our cohort here. Specifically, there was the identification of shapes of 2-dimensional cross-sections of 3-dimensional objects. Don't ask me how you solve those things. Namely, they were looking at ellipses, circles, and parabolas. This was the same area that was actually identified as a skill that needed to be addressed at the middle school geometry assessment level too. So I think that's important to see that we're all in the same boat there. Once again, in Algebra 2, the results are pretty perfect. I mean, you got 100% there. But let's go back to a couple of years, because you've heard me for the last couple of years talking about this. Over the past 4 years in particular, I shared that it's hard to maintain a 100% performance from year to year. Our students and teachers have met that challenge head on, and they've performed at the top level again with 100%, which was an improvement over last year. Note that our students' performance in Algebra 2 has been at 100% for the past 3 of 4 years. That's incredible and completely commendable. Algebra 2 areas of strength also included things like calculating expected values of random variables in multi-step word problems, writing arithmetic and geometric sequences both recursively and with a specific formula, analysis of a graph to estimate rate of change, and explanations of applying rate of change to real-world situations. The area of focus. Now, students performed very well on all aspects, but there were types of problems that were a little bit more challenging than some of the other items on this assessment, and they can continue to be an area of focus for our students. So solving multi-step contextual word problems limited to trig functions, more complex applications of the Pythagorean theorem, and graphing logarithmic and trig functions are all areas where we can continue to reinforce and support our students. Overall, congratulations to our staff and our students who are continuing to hone their modeling and reasoning skills while also employing their multi-step problem-solving skills in a variety of situations, including real-world applications. Kudos to our students, kudos to our staff, and kudos to Ms. Lemerick for all of their hard work in mathematics. In science, based on the NJSLA Science 11 assessment, we've seen a slight increase from 24 to 25 in the proficient and advanced proficient categories. Our students outperformed the state in each domain and practice category in 2025. The domain showing the most growth was life science, which was also highlighted as our strongest domain category. The most growth in practice from 24 to 25 was investigating, which was also identified as our strongest scientific practice. Looking at our data from 2022 through 2025, our strongest practice category is investigating practices. The focal point of an area for growth continues to be on sense-making practices. As we have seen, the performance in this practice decrease by 3 percentage points over the past 4 years. So what's our focus there? Developing and using models and analyzing and interpreting data and constructing explanations and defining solutions. The increase in critical thinking, sense-making, and investigative skills that are taught within our science courses continues to raise the rigor of the content. And again, I am thankful for Mrs. Lemerick's consistent facilitation of the collaborative process that is observed within the science department as they continue to challenge themselves, one another, and the students in their scientific thinking and reasoning. I continue to be proud of all of them. Now I'll transition to Mix Manziano to share information about how they are using the data analysis that I provided to guide their next steps and their interventions in English language arts.
Good evening, everyone. So I think I get the fun part of talking about what's next after we've talked about some of the great data analysis so far. So next steps for grades 6 through 9 ELA are we'll be looking to have data meetings with teachers around the NJSLA, the Linkit benchmark, and our writing benchmarks. In September, we already reviewed the NJSLA data. Teachers were able to give some feedback, look at where we did well, and look at some places where maybe we need to think about growing and revising our practices. We do review some sample test questions. I think this is important not to think about creating a boot camp for teachers or a boot camp for students, but sometimes it's important to see how the questions are worded. Are they two parts? Is it one part? Is it a drag and drop? Is it multiple choice? And then to think about, are there ways that we can practically mimic this within our own study guides, within our own classrooms, within some of our literary prompts that we give to our students? When we're thinking about our classroom instruction, we're going to focus in on central theme, character analysis, and author's purpose in literature. And we're really going to use critical thinking and discourse in class to really hone in on these literary analysis skills. Ongoing professional development during our in-service days is a great way to target teachers and improve instruction. We really look for a lot of teacher feedback in our professional development programs. And thinking about curriculum implementation and support through vertical articulation. These two really go hand in hand in my mind. To keep pushing the fidelity of our curriculum and also refining our instruction. I think our teachers are really ready and willing to have a reflective practice, which is so wonderful, looking at what they did last year, thinking about what went well, and thinking about ways to improve and push our students further. We also added new literature to the 6th grade and 10th grade curriculum, which is great to bring in fresh and diverse voices to further push our literature goals for next year. So we do have some exciting things happening this year that I'm really looking forward to, especially with those new units. I'm going to hand it over to the other half of the brain, Miss Limerick.
My better half. Thank you, Lou. Okay. All right. So in secondary math and also in science, our next steps and interventions were kind of combined because we're doing a lot of the same work across the grade levels together collaboratively. We continue to conduct a data analysis following our benchmark administration. Specifically in math, we give benchmarks 3 times a year. So we look at that data, we analyze it. The teachers have a plethora of data, and we have those conversations around what are the areas of strength, what are the areas we're working on, how are we going to target that, what are we moving around in our curriculum to make this all make sense and have coherence there. We had really great conversations at the end of last year, vertical articulation across the grade levels, which led to some of our updates for this year, which we're really excited about. So we're hoping to see some of those impact our benchmarks across the year. We are also The second piece up there is we already did this in depth, but looked and analyzed all of this data ourselves, including evidence statements and in science in the different categories that they report out on. What are our areas of strength? What are the areas of growth? How do we want to tackle those areas and address them? And so some of that led us to further integration of practice test items just for exposure to the types of problems. So in science, having students see the STEM and the different questions that are associated and having the practice on the platforms and understanding and exposure to the types of questions. So multi-select and drag and drops, all of those various kinds of practice items that are important for exposure purposes. We continue, like I had just mentioned, through vertical articulation and also articulation within our courses, making decisions around curricular refinement. So we're in our second year of curriculum implementation in both math and science in 6th through 12th grade. So having those conversations with teams of teachers and then across grades and across courses as well, so that we're making sure that if there's gaps that we're addressing them, that things are coherent and building upon one another, and hoping that that continues to help in our scores. This year at Edgar Middle School, we're doing our science program evaluation committee. We started that last spring and we're continuing that this fall, looking at different materials to help enhance our curriculum and instruction. And that's being led with the great work of our science curriculum leadership committee, which is representative of teachers of each grade, myself, Dr. Herzog, Miss Acevedo, Miss Lewis, all meeting together throughout the spring and into this fall. So that's been an instrumental part of our work at the middle school science level. Also, at both of our buildings in mathematics and at Edgar in science, we are conducting book studies this year. So building thinking classrooms, which most of our math teachers are participating in as a selection for their professional development plans. And even if they're not, we're having the discussion across our entire department. And not only in math, but in science and in 21st century areas, because I think there's a lot that can be learned from some of the practices that are in there. We just conducted our first book study meetings and had some really amazing conversations. And at Edgar, we're in science, because we're doing our science program evaluation, we're also reading Engaging Students in Science Investigations using GRC, which is a fantastic book, as I know you know, Ms. Colleen. Ongoing professional development in both math and science, so continuing for teachers to identify areas that they are looking to grow in. Up here at the high school, they're doing some peer observation, so there's just a lot of opportunity for growth and continued professional development, and we continue to encourage that in the buildings with the principals and supervisors together as a collaborative effort there. And then through observation, through articulation, through department meetings, just continuing to focus on interdisciplinary opportunities where they are fit, peer observations, discourse, critical thinking, all of the really important things that really enhance our student engagement and understanding. And so these have been some of the priority areas that we've really been focusing on this year, but ongoing even from last year as well.
Okay, thank you, everybody. We also have a small group of students who take an alternate assessment in grades 3 through 8 and 11 in ELA, math, and science. That's called the dynamic learning maps. We don't have a large enough group of students to report their scores, but we will report that 8 students participated in this assessment. And I'll take a moment to kind of look ahead and preview what's coming next in the current year and some new challenges in terms of standardized assessments. The state has moved to a new platform for testing, so we'll no longer be testing using Pearson, and we will be testing using Cambian for ELA and math. The state has introduced a new adaptive features in our testing, which adjusts the difficulties of items a little bit within the grade level. There is a learning curve in this for all of us, for the teachers administrating the assessment and preparing students to take it, for the students in learning the new types of questions on this platform, and for our teachers and our administrative teams in learning their reporting tools and the analysis features to dive into our results once we have them. So this is going to launch with a field test right after break for 4th grade, all of Edgar and most of our high school students, with 3 days of field tests, of a field test experience. The results will not be told to us. They will not count for anything, but it is a required experience that we engage in. So that is coming up in November, just to learn more about the testing experience, and then we will do it for real in the spring with this new platform. And that may affect our results next year at this time when we're standing up here with new interpretation tools, new reporting tools, and a little bit of a learning curve, but we'll see how that goes at that time. And I just want to thank the team here for coming and presenting and representing the hard work and the celebrations of the students and the teachers teaching them, and our team of leaders leading them at the building level, at the department level, and you're all doing amazing work. Gave us a lot to be proud of and to celebrate this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Herzog.
Thank you so much. I think you probably shouldn't go too far. I suspect there might be a question or two from our colleagues up here as they return to their seats. Mr. Suss?
Sure. Thank you for the presentation. I think Mr. Horowski used the word commendable. I think this was better than commendable. You guys set such a high standard, which led me to see a couple of things. I just have to ask a couple of questions. So I'm not picking on you. This was absolutely great, but there were just a couple of things I just had a question about. So I think it was ELA proficiency, third grade. Only 58% of the kids were proficient, which is 42% is not proficient. And if you look at the rest of again, the high bar you guys set, 76, 86, 85. Do we have any thoughts on third grade?
Well, it is the first. I'll give a chance for Dr. C or Ms. O'Mark if they want to chime in, but it is the first testing experience they take using this standardized assessment. So that is one thing, and we see how they keep getting better at it as they move up the grade. So that is one thing. Is there anything either one of you want to chime in on?
Thank you. Great question. I think, just to reiterate what Dr. Herzog is saying, the first testing experience that the children have, the significance of the jump from third grade to fourth grade is something that we pay attention to make sure that the trajectory is going up. But that first testing experience is, definitely something that we attribute that to. And the fact that it's been pretty much that for 5 years now, so there's some stability with that. Again, gives kind of indication that there's some developmental stuff that definitely is occurring, and the trajectory continues to grow up. So those are some of the things that we're looking at.
And if Dr. Marcus will indulge me, one other question. Just again, the trends are all great, and where there's differences, statistical noise. But grade 8 science, there seems to be a huge fall off there. Just, again, any thoughts on that one?
Ms. Lemerick, do you want to speak to grade 8 science a little? We did look at that.
This is all your fault. You set such a high bar, and it's, again, amazing work, but...
Okay, so one of the things I was going to mention about with science, so I don't think it's on this graph, but if you, one of the things, I'm going to end up clicking around quite a bit. If you look at the past data, we track with where the state, so when you see a test given, right, test is going to change every year, new items are tried, new items are approved that go out there. And our graph on one of these slides, I know it's there, shows like when the state dropped, we also dropped. And then when the state goes up, we tend to go up. So we're following the trajectory. I also share that I'm also really interested in like growth over time. So I keep all of this data on my little spreadsheet here. And if I just pull up here, science category performance. So if you look, last year we grew quite a bit. And there's always going to be fluctuations, right? So we grow a bit, and at what point are we able to like grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, right? That becomes really challenging. So there's going to be ebbs and flows with data. And then when I look at the overall growth over time, in every single one of the categories they report out on 3 content categories and 3 domain practice categories. And on each of those, from 2022 to 2025, when I arrived here, the growth over time is all positive. So in 3%, 9%, 11%, 1%, 6%, and 6%. So there is not like a negative there was no negative growth there. So I think every year the test is a little different. It's going to change. It's going to ebb and flow. We do stay in line. We stay above the state, and we stay in line with what the state is showing. So that's kind of a little bit about that test. And then same with like the overall performance on it as well, right? We increase, and then you're going to maybe see a decrease. Those kinds of things do happen. What I will say is in middle school, specifically in 8th grade, that's a big part of our conversation right now as a school leadership committee, looking at new curricular resources that we can use as a primary instructional resource to kind of meet our needs right now as a district community in middle school. So we're looking at several different primary resources. We're looking at, we developed as a committee what are the shared criteria that we're going to look at resources against. So we developed a whole shared criteria as a team together, and now we're in the process of evaluating those and working towards selecting something that's going to make for robust instruction in middle school specifically. We're also examining whether we're going to be continue in our domain specific or a more integrated approach. So those are part of our conversations, and we're looking at data from other districts too, so that we can make some informed decisions around our instructional programming in middle school. Always a continued area to look at. Always, my teachers are very they were diving in and really having good, robust conversations when they were analyzing their data. So it was, last year was like really celebratory year, and then it was like, oh, we saw some decline, but overall we did see positive growth in all of the domains. So that's a really good thing to celebrate.
Dr. Herzog, if you could go back to that graph that just showed the state data one more time. I just wanted to follow up. Thank you, Ms. Lemrick, for that. Mr. Suss, and this is something that we've talked to our county superintendent as a superintendent roundtable. There's no way in my mind to think that 80% of our kids don't know enough science. The science test is scaled and graded so differently from ELA and math, and it's something that has baffled me for years now. Certainly, that says there's room for growth, but when you think there's 19% of our 8th graders statewide who are passing the test, there's something about the test. So we've talked about that a lot, and we've talked about that in curriculum committee as well. Fair question, but just when we look closer, as Ms. Lemrick said, I do continue, we should be better than the state average, but I do look, we're just as high above the state average, really, almost as high as we are, for example, in 11th grade, but the 11th grade result looks a lot better than the 8th grade result. So there's something going on, but we'll continue to do all the things that Ms. Lemrick said.
Thank you. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Khalid.
Stay up here. Thanks, Ms. Clinton.
I want to thank you guys for the hard work you're doing. I want to thank Dr. Caputo for mentioning the difference in the test in science. I think it's something that we all need to advocate for, is more actionable data coming back from the state. I think one of the things that Ms. Lemrick humbly did not share is that in math and in ELA, we get really specific data back about how students are performing on certain standards, and in science, we don't get that. And so she can be working with the teachers, but she doesn't have the same kind of targets as she does in math. And that's an incredibly hard lift. So I think the work that you're doing is important, and I hope you keep going with it.
Thank you. And I appreciate that. We were actually just chatting about that before the meeting, because it is a continuing area of like, well, we need more usable data to really be able to drive actionable change, especially if that's what we're being measured against. So thank you for that.
No problem. I just want to thank you guys for mentioning that you're going to be. It's not necessarily for math, maybe a little bit more implication for science, and definitely for ELA, in increasing the writing emphasis, particularly at the lower grades. I think that the more they write, the better they are across the board. And I'm sure you're seeing it in your data when you're going into those deep data dives, and we're just getting the 20,000-foot view on it. But I really appreciate hearing that is going to be some way, it's going to help with constructing explanations in science, it's going to help in comprehension for word problems in math, and it's going to help in their writing and reading comprehension in lower grades for ELA. So please continue that work. We love to hear more about what's coming in that direction. And I just have a quick question. This is ELA for Ms. Omark, if you don't mind. One thing about the 3rd grade, what benchmarking tool do we use in 3rd grade?
So for third grade, as a little bit new this year, we're continuing to use the iReady diagnostic, which is a wide scope that gives teachers lots of information. And starting this year, we're also implementing the universal screener using the iReady literacy task. So for third grade specifically, it's a reading fluency task, and we'll report home on both of those, the diagnostic and the reading fluency literacy task.
Okay, follow-up question.
Yes.
Are the benchmark results from our literacy in third grade consistent with our state performance in literacy in third grade?
That is a really good question.
You don't have to say it right now. Totally catching you off guard. That would be something interesting for me, for maybe our curriculum committee to hear about, or something along those lines. Maybe it is test anxiety, or first time testing, right? Maybe there's a different story. Maybe we're seeing it in the class. I don't know. I just thought maybe if we knew a little bit more about how they're doing in the benchmarks, and if there was any discrepancies there, that would be helpful for us.
Happy to look at that and report back for both the iReady diagnostic, which I could do immediately, and then the literacy task. They're continuing to build school level and district level reports for us because it was new this year. So that's coming out in November. So I look forward to analyzing that. And
I think you guys are doing
reporting
great work, right? There's growth all over the place. It doesn't make it easy. So interesting information coming back, and thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Queen. Anyone else? Mr. Glassberg.
Yeah, just a general statement. I don't get particularly hung up on the little differences from year to year because there's so many different factors involved in that. But the trends obviously look positive. And what I really appreciate most, which I've probably said before, is that there's a conscientious effort to use the data to influence how we're teaching and what goes on in the classroom so that we could help kids as best as possible. So regardless of whether I see those numbers, slightly tick up, slightly tick down, but we're trying to make good use of that data, and that's what I appreciate. Thank you.
We appreciate that, Mr. Glassberg.
I'll echo that because I think one of the things that I always find interesting is I want to know what next, right? I'm always curious because y'all have set such a high standard, so we expect excellence from y'all, not just commendable, Mr. Prowski, excellence. So it's always interesting to hear what your plans are to use this data in ways that impact all of our learners. So I'm always interested to hear that. So thank you for that.
Thank you. This is an incredible team working very hard behind the scenes. So.
It shows.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Now we switch presentations, I believe, to Dr. Caputo. Thank you all for sharing your insights with us. Actually, I'll stand up for this one. Sorry. I'm following you. I'm not presenting though.
So our last presentation tonight is our District Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Summary Report. And this is for the 24-25 school year. Thank you to Alana Curtin. Thank you especially to Ms. Alievich for putting this together, collecting all this data into a digestible presentation tonight. Again, this is for the 24-25 school year. Every district in the state is required to make this presentation. This will cover periods 1 and 2 from last calendar year. So this report includes the nature and effect and the mode of the HIBs and any disciplinary and other actions taken. Again, these are all sections from the report that we file, so this is not our language, and these definitions are how the state collects this information. So Section A is the report we have to submit. It's the counts, how many HIB instances for period 1 and period 2 for the 24-25 school year. So there were 29 HIBs district-wide, 17 found as HIB, 12 found as not HIB. Remember those those are investigated within 2 days, reported to me within 10 days, and then reported by me to the board at our next board meeting, and the following board meeting after that, the board votes to affirm, reject, or modify the outcome. In all cases, all 29, we met the requirement to do a 10-day investigation, and in all 29, the Board of Ed rendered a decision in those cases. And that's critical. As superintendent, my job is to make sure that the principals take with the right seriousness each incident or report, that the HIB, usually the vice principal, investigates that in a timely manner, that I get the report in a timely manner, and I report that to the Board of Education in a timely manner. So that's an important slide. Our summary report looks like this, and again, these are the categories from Section B in the state report. And these are how the nature of the HIB instances. I won't read all of them, but you can see sometimes this may not add up to 29. It could add up to more if there's more than one, multiple instances for one incident, or if there's no evidence of HIB. So when we know this, we record it and report it out to you. And we look for trends in this, to see where our HIBs coming from. Section C talks about the effect. So, what effect did an HIB case have on a potential victim? Again, these don't add up necessarily 29 because you could have this in more than one category. Again, this helps us design our programs. It helps us at the school level respond and a district level to provide trainings for teachers and students and parents. By the way, if you miss anything tonight, I can always go back, and Ms. Alievich will either post this tomorrow or maybe post it already on our website. Section D is the mode, how the HIB incident happened, and these do add up to 29. Most of them, in our case, the vast majority are verbal. Student A said something to student B. It was reported to a teacher, guidance counselor, reported to the administration. The administration investigated it, made a recommendation to me, I reviewed it, reported it to the board, and of these 29, as we said, 17 were confirmed as HIB, 12 were determined not to be HIB. Disciplinary actions, again, takes a wide range from counseling all the way up to detentions and suspensions. Section F continues with all the other pieces I talked about. Other measures include community service, reflections, no contact contracts, reading an informational text to report on it as a learning tool, all kinds of interventions that we take appropriate for the age and the nature of the incident. Sometimes there's more than one of these disciplinary actions for every case. Each year also, every school is required to do a self-assessment, and we report this data out to the state. And there are 78 points available. This year, Moss scored 76 out of 78, Campbell 72, Edgar 73, and the high school 73. State produces an average. Whole number is 79, and we converted it to a number, 95%. So we're very proud of that score. We're not proud that there's any HIBs to investigate, because if there's even one HIB, let alone 17, that means we have at least one victim that we need to help and deal with. But we're really proud of the work. We're really proud of the improvement the kids make, reducing recidivism with these. And this is the report that gets posted on the website, as well as our overall slideshow here today. And then, of course, we have recommendations for this current school year. I won't read them all. I'll highlight a couple of them. The second bullet talks about restorative justice practices, and it's really important when working with kids. What we're really good at is not law enforcement. What we're really good at is at second chances and rehabilitation and education, so we really emphasize that. Our morning meeting calendars and resources at Campbell have been a real help. At the middle school and high school, demonstrations of body acceptance. We continue to work on that. Celebrating various heritage days and months. Advisory lessons at the middle school have been a big help. Of course, we have our newsletters, and our trainings for parents are important. And I was asked a question before tonight, so I appreciate the board member asking me that so I could prepare an answer. The question was, if parents want more information about this, where can they find information? I thought it was a great question. So we have all our information on the website. We have an HIB button on the district website, as well as all our school sites. And under that button, we have a anti-bullying Bill of Rights parent tutorial. We have our HIB policy, which is District Policy 5512. We have these HIB ABR grade reports that you see tonight for past years. We have a reporting form for families and school personnel who may witness bullying. We have an anonymous HIB reporting form for someone who doesn't want to put their name on it. We have an information reporting link for parents. We have the ABR state guidance for parents. We have a resource that comes from a government site, stopbullying.gov, and that's a great resource for students. And you can find that all on metuchenschools.org and on the individual school sites, high school, middle school, Campbell, and Moss. So thank you for your attention tonight, and certainly take any questions on our ABR report for 24-25.
Get settled. Mr. Suss.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Caputo, for the report. Did I miss it, or do you have a breakdown by school? I saw the scores by school, but I didn't see the breakdown of the 29 HIBs by school.
We don't report that to the state. I mean, we have that data. We don't. That's not reported to the state. It's a district report.
Okay.
When I do those period 1 and period 2 reports,
That's where it is.
You
Okay.
see those.
All right.
This is just the data that goes in this yearly report.
Got it.
Any other questions, colleagues? Very good. All right, wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Caputo.
Thank you, everybody.
All righty. At this time, we turn to reports. I do not have one at this time, but I'm assuming since you've just said some things, you're good. All right. So we now turn to the committee reports, starting as usual with construction. Mr. Glassberg.
Relatively short tonight. We have not met since the last meeting. We do have a meeting scheduled for November 17th, but that might be changed due to negotiations which are happening at the same time. Progress is continuing at all of the schools, some really good progress. Windows have gone in at the high school gym, or most of the windows have gone in at least. So we're cruising along there. At Moss, we're also moving along. So our target dates have not really changed into the late December, mid-January range at the two different places. At Campbell School, we have completed the referendum portion of the construction, but you might notice one change there. It was not part of the referendum, but it was brought up after the fact, and the board approved to work on leveling out the back field of Campbell Field there, which had some drainage issues. So it's been, I believe, fully leveled. It looks cleared out. They're planting seed for grass to grow there, so it'll be ready for use in the springtime with new grass as well as better drainage taking place there. So that's great. I see some people were happy about that. It's also nice to go by the playgrounds and see them packed full of people. A lot of people at Campbell, and then also now at Moss. So that's wonderful. So everything is continuing on track. We do continue to have work with our construction management and with our contractors on staying on track, on time, and on budget with everything. So those conflicts and discussions, continue as it does in any construction situation, but we remain on target for the dates that we've most recently discussed. So we will let you know when our next meeting is, and the next open to the public meeting is scheduled for December 15th. If that has to change, then we will notify the public of that as well. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Glassberg. Always good when you can say the end time is still the same. That's always good. All right. I'm going in chronological order. Mr. Suss, remind me, were you able to give us a report last time? Because I know you met right before.
I did not.
You did not then?
I did not give a report, but I can give the report
Would you
now.
like to now?
I will.
Wonderful.
So we had a Board of Ed meeting on the 20th, and we actually met just before the Board of Ed meeting, and I was...
the 14th.
No, that's right. Yes. There you go. I'm still ill-prepared to give this... No.
No judgment. All good.
No judgment. All good. But yes. So we met just before the board meeting. just a couple things. We talked about energy programs, and one of the things you'll see on the agenda tonight is a resolution authorizing the use of a competitive contracting for the solicitation of proposals for a solar power purchase agreement, not for, actually doing the solar power agreement, but just authorizing the board to actually, do that. So we talked about that. We talked about transportation for next year. We talked about a busing issue that was brought up to the board. We talked about transportation for next year. The board, the committee was in favor of authorizing busing for the 3 schools, but obviously there's a lot more to come on that. And that was pretty much it.
All right.
We had to fit it in quickly.
I knew you could do it. Next up chronologically is Ms. Killeen with extracurricular.
Yeah, extracurricular met on the 20th, and we had a relatively short meeting, two items on our agenda. I'm not going to go into detail on we had a presentation by the Sustainability Committee, the Collaborative Sustainability Committee, but you heard most of that tonight with Ms. Lemrick's presentation, so no need to rehash, but they went over some of the great work that they're doing, and so we were so thankful to have the time to hear that from them. And then we talked about Metuchen High School volunteers to help with the cheer team. We talked about some liability things that we wanted to look into, but overall we're supportive of the idea. And that was the whole meeting.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Killeen. Next up, we have curriculum. Mr. Derflinger.
Thank you. Curriculum met yesterday. We first met with the Social Emotional Character Development Committee, the district one, represented by Campbell School Assistant Principal Brooke Kirshner and third grade teacher Lisa Levin. So we got some nice updates about some of the work. Really, the themes this year include recruitment and refinement. So they're doing a lot of really strategic work around those 2 themes. We had a great conversation around proposals regarding school start and end times, which is an ongoing discussion. And off the meeting, just because we did run out of time yesterday, we learned the information from the NJSLA slides that you saw today. And we also learned about 2 international trip proposals, one for spring break of 27 to Spain, and one for summer of 2027 to Austria, whoop, whoop, where the Derflingers are from, just saying, Germany and Switzerland trips. So that concluded our meeting.
Wonderful. I did appreciate the whoop whoop. Dr. Spigner, policy, please.
Yes, policy also met yesterday, the 27th. We had 2 items as well on our agenda. One was very, they both were very energizing. And the first was with the district professional development committee co-chairs. And they walked us through, which was so really nice to see, walked us through what their approach was, their methods that they use for collecting data, which all goes into figuring out professional development for the next year, kind of looking back at what professional development happened, the prior year, and sort of building from that, but taking a very data-driven approach with gathering feedback from from teachers as they complete the current year professional training and sort of development and sort of planning for the next year. And they're really rigorous process. So we were very impressed by that. And so it was really nice to have a visit from the co-chairs. And our second item was on an item that was mentioned before in terms of transportation. So we will present a policy, hopefully at a board meeting on November 18th on that, once we continue our deliberation about what's needed for the 26-27 school year.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Mr. Bott did have to leave, so I will be giving his report. I cannot attempt to give it in his form, so I'll do my best. So the Equity Committee met last night. Two main things that were discussed: the calendar and observance policy, so making certain that folks within our district are aware of the observances that are possible across our diverse community, that there has been an observance reference document created that is intended to be a living, breathing document that will be managed, and we look forward to presenting and sharing this with the District Equity Committee as a part of our ongoing collaboration for discussion, review, and to collaborate on the best way to socialize this across our community. And also, we talked about food equity. This is an issue that is near and dear to Mr. Bott's heart, and indeed in partnership, as you heard earlier, with the sustainability efforts in the district, the Share My Meal, Sharing Tables, Food Pantry, presentations that were made today, and then again, making certain that folks know that there are now Fridays available for the Share My Meals opportunities. So making sure that we continue to grow this program as it has started out small, but it's trucking along wonderfully. And that's it for the Equity Committee report. All right, at this time we turn to Ms. Michaels-Lamort.
Hello.
Hi.
So for Campbell, on October 31st is the Halloween parade. Photo makeups are on November 11th, and the PTO book swap is on November 18th. For the high school, SATs are on November 8th, and the Crucible performance is going to be on the 14th and the 15th. And then all schools will be closed from November 3rd to November 7th.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That was very helpful. You don't happen to know when the Edgar photo makeup day is, do you?
Uh-oh, do we need one?
There was a pop collar situation. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I don't know. Who knows what the kids' fashions are these days? All right. Anywho, so at this time, is there any old business from the board? Nope. Any new business? All right, fantastic. At this time, I'd like to move to approve the October 14th minutes of the Metuchen Board of Education special business meetings 1 and 2 and the board meeting. Is there a second? Mr. Derflinger. Any questions or comments on those minutes? Seeing none, roll call please, Mrs. Alievich.
Should I take Mr. Bott off of the... Obviously, I should take him off of voting.
Yes.
Voting.
Thank you.
All right, sorry.
No worries.
Mr. Derflinger.
I abstain.
Thank you. Mr. Glassberg.
Yes.
Dr. Johnson-Marcus.
Yes.
Ms. Colleen.
Yes.
Dr. Spigner.
Yes.
Mr. Suss.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Wonderful. Thank you. At this time, the meeting is open to the public on any topic. Seeing no new public, we move to the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Oftentimes, it may appear to members of our audience that the Board of Education takes action with very little comment, and in many cases, a unanimous vote. Before a matter is placed on the agenda at a public meeting, the administration has thoroughly reviewed the matter with the superintendent of schools. If the superintendent is satisfied that the matter is ready to be presented to the Board of Education, it is then referred to the appropriate board committee. The members of the board committee work with the administration and the superintendent to assure that the members fully understand the matter. When the committee is satisfied with the matter, it is presented to the Board of Education for discussion before any final action is taken. Only then is it placed on the agenda for action at a public meeting. At this time, I'd like to move the personnel items A1 through A5. Is there a second? Ms. Galeen. Any questions or comments on the personnel items? Seeing none, roll call please.
Mr. Derflinger.
Yes.
Mr. Glassberg.
Yes.
Dr. Johnson-Marcus.
Yes.
Ms. Colleen.
Yes.
Dr. Spigner.
Yes.
Mr. Suss.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Mr. Suss, finance items.
Yes, I'd like to move items B1 through B9 as listed on the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Dr. Spigner.
It's a fight.
Any questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, roll call please, Mrs. Alievich.
Mr. Derflinger.
Yes.
Mr. Glassberg.
Yes.
Dr. Johnson-Marcus.
Yes.
Ms. Colleen.
Yes.
Dr. Spigner.
Yes.
Mr. Suss.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Wonderful. Thank you. Dr. Spigner, policy.
I'd like to move items C1 through C3 as listed on the agenda, please.
Thank you. Is there a second? Mr. Suss, any questions or comments? Roll call, please, Mrs. Elievich.
Mr. Derflinger.
Yes.
Mr. Glassberg.
Yes.
Dr. Johnson Marcus.
Yes.
Ms. Colleen.
Yes.
Dr. Spigner.
Yes.
Mr. Suss.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Motion carries.
Oh, sorry, I'm jumping on you. we're on a roll here. Thank you so much. Mr. Derflinger.
Thank you. I'd like to move the one curriculum item, D1, as listed on the agenda, please.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? Ms. Galeen, any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call, please, Mrs. Elievich.
Sure thing. Mr. Derflinger.
Yes.
Mr. Glassberg.
Yes.
Dr. Johnson Marcus.
Yes.
Ms. Colleen.
Yes.
Dr. Spigner.
Yes.
Mr. Suss.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We are open to the public again for comment on any topic, but I am seeing no one new sprinting into the room, so I shall close this section of the meeting. We are at the announcement section, but Mrs. Cheatham is not here, Mr. Bott's not here, Ms. Michaels-Lamort did a great job. I feel like we could just remind everybody that school is closed next week, election day is Tuesday. You should probably educate yourself appropriately and go out there and exercise your franchise. Period. All right. At this time, I move to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second? Mr. Derflinger, all in favor? Good night, everyone.